There are not that many characters who can say that they have survived after suffering defeat at the hands of a Yonko. Even fewer can claim to have fought against a Yonko and won. Yet there is one character in the series who has not only achieved both of these feats, but has also sat as a member of the 7 warlords. I'm of course talking about the Desert King himself, Sir Crocodile. Crocodile sits in an unusual position as he's an indisputable evil figure who had tormented, starved and murdered a country's population in order to overthrow its royal family while portraying himself as their savior. During the events of Impel Down and Marineford, he had proven to be a reluctant ally to Luffy, with his motivations and dreams remaining mostly shrouded in mystery. Just how on earth was Crocodile able to achieve all of the feats that he has within the series? What abilities does he possess that have allowed him to rise up through the ranks to where he is today as one of the Yonko? Crocodile is a man who even the likes of Dracula Mihawk looks upon as an equal and the world government considers to be a threat. In this video, I'm going to be exploring everything that there is to know about Crocodile's Devil Fruit, as well as his non-Devil Fruit abilities, which he has showcased throughout the series. So without further delay, let's dive into this video breaking down everything that there is to know about Crocodile's powers. Some of Crocodile's most dangerous and effective abilities actually have nothing to do with his Devil Fruit. Take for example his raw physical strength. Crocodile's power is evident in his physical attacks as well as his skillful handling of his massive golden hook. His battles against Luffy in Alabasta showed that he can deliver devastating blows even without relying on his Devil Fruit powers. In their first fight, Crocodile easily overpowers Luffy in hand-to-hand combat, holding him off with very little effort and slamming him into the ground. While he often favors his Devil Fruit abilities, Crocodile's raw strength is not to be underestimated. He is able to physically restrain his opponents, and more impressively, he can remain calm even when taking hits from a relentless fighter like Luffy, thus highlighting his durability and level of endurance. Crocodile's stamina and resilience are also exceptional, as he had endured the grueling conditions of Impel Down without showing any weakness. And then from his imprisonment, he had gone on to battle powerful opponents at Marineford like Doflamingo, Mihawk and even Akainu. There's no denying that Crocodile is very intelligent, and this is one of his most defining and dangerous traits. As the mastermind behind the Baroque Works organization, he is able to orchestrate a complex plan to overthrow the kingdom of Alabasta by stirring civil unrest as well as manipulating the citizens of Alabasta. His ability to keep his identity hidden while managing a vast network of agents showcases his tactical genius. Throughout the Alabasta arc, Crocodile demonstrates a sharp understanding of political manipulation and deception, as well as executing a strategy which exploits the weaknesses of the Alabasta kingdom in order to incite a rebellion amongst its people. Crocodile's golden hook is an iconic aspect of his character design, which serves as both a symbol of his ruthless nature as well as being a deadly weapon. This hook is far more than a decorative accessory, it's a lethal tool that he uses in battle. With a hidden poison reservoir, Crocodile can use the hook to deliver fatal strikes, knocking out his enemies. This is seen during his third fight with Luffy, where he attempts to poison Luffy by stabbing him with the hook. The poison is extremely powerful, as it's capable of causing paralysis and even eventual death. His golden hook is also a versatile weapon, as Crocodile can wield it with precision in close combat, using it to slash and stab with deadly accuracy. Its large size and sharp edge makes it a powerful melee weapon, and Crocodile often aims for vital spots on his opponents, as he even used the hook to clash against Dracula Mihawk during the Marineford War. He had blocked a strike from Mihawk's Supreme Blade Sword with ease. Crocodile's hook enhances his overall combat ability, adding an extra layer of danger to his already fearsome powers. Crocodile's most frequently used abilities stem from his Devil Fruit, the Suna Suna no Mi. It is the second Logia type Devil Fruit introduced in the series. The Suna Suna no Mi was Oda's way of showcasing just how powerful and destructive this class of Devil Fruits can be. Crocodile has demonstrated 9 distinctive named abilities with his Devil Fruit, each with unique qualities that has contributed to his reputation as one of the most feared pirates in the New World. However, before diving into those, we'll cover a technique that, while being unnamed, is one of Crocodile's most terrifying and powerful abilities. The Suna Suna no Mi grants Crocodile a unique secondary power called Liquid Absorption. This ability enables him to drain moisture from anything that he touches, and he can even extend this effect over a wide area, rapidly drying large expanses of land as though a natural drought had swept through. This power proves fatal to living organisms, causing plants, animals, and people to wither away from dehydration. Even minerals and rocks break down into sand particles that he can manipulate, giving him a powerful edge. Crocodile's liquid absorption ability also renders him immune to cave-ins, as he can escape entrapment by turning both himself and nearby solid rock into sand. Now, furthermore, he can detect hidden elements within sand, like subterranean rivers, and he can use this knowledge to create quicksand traps to ensnare his opponents. This makes the Suna Suna no Mi one of the rare Logia devil fruits that is capable of counteracting its own weaknesses. In desert environments where water is already scarce, the Suna Suna no Mi reaches its peak potential, with the dry landscape amplifying its effects. So with this crucial ability in mind, let's now move on to the first of Crocodile's named techniques, which is Desert Spada. Now, nearly all of Crocodile's abilities are named using Mediterranean language roots, and in this case, Spada is Italian for sword. Desert Spada allows Crocodile to morph his right hand into a loosely formed blade of rapidly shifting sand. He plunges this blade deep into the ground, where it travels like a missile beneath the surface. The earth splits violently in its wake as the sand blade carves through everything in its path with such force that even the ground is torn apart. The technique has incredible cutting power, capable of cleaving a person in two. When Crocodile used this ability on King Cobra's palace, a powerful surge along the blade's trajectory nearly struck Luffy. Now, similar to Desert Spada, Desert Girasol has Crocodile create another sand blade with his right hand. However, instead of causing destruction, this technique creates a massive pit of quicksand where he drives the blade into the ground. The sand is drawn away by hidden underground rivers Crocodile can sense, creating a death trap for anyone who is unlucky enough to fall in. Once they are trapped, victims are helplessly pulled under, swallowed alive by the earth. This technique can only be used in dry, desert-like terrain where the soil is loose enough to be manipulated. Girasol is Italian for sunflower. This is a stark contrast to the deadly nature of this ability. The next power is Crocodile's Bajan technique, where with a sweeping motion he leaves a crescent-shaped trail of sand, which is far from ordinary. Anything that comes into contact with this is instantly drained of moisture, highlighting Crocodile's ability to dehydrate anything at will. Living organisms turn into dry husks as the sand robs them of all vitality within an instant. Crocodile's next ability stems from a French word sables, which means both sand and sandstorm. Crocodile summons a powerful sandstorm, a swirling vortex of sand which grows uncontrollably, and it gets to a point where even Crocodile can no longer contain it. In certain cases, he can direct the sandstorm to drain water from living beings, and the storm's intensity is enough to shatter steel, as demonstrated when he unleashed it on Papu's crew. Crocodile also uses sables to send enemies flying through the air, as he did to the pirates who interfered with his attack on Whitebeard, and later he had used the same ability to hurl both Jinbei and Luffy far from Admiral Akainu's range. A variation of this technique is called Sables Pisado, and this is where Crocodile condenses an immense mass of sand within his hand, and the sand swirls intensely, forming a dense destructive sphere. When Crocodile throws this sphere, the sandstorm releases a massive shockwave upon impact, obliterating everything in its path. The term pisado, meaning heavy in both Spanish and Portuguese, perfectly captures the crushing force behind this ability. Ground Seco is one of Crocodile's more sinister techniques, allowing him to dehydrate the ground itself by placing his hand on it and activating his moisture draining ability. The once fertile land becomes a dry, barren wasteland, drained of its life-giving moisture by Crocodile's touch. The ground weakens to the point of collapse, causing the terrain to cave in, and it sends any nearby victims plunging into the depths. The name Ground Secco literally translates to drying up. Crocodile's next ability, called Ground Death, is a far more lethal version of Ground Secco, as it shows us the full extent of Crocodile's powers. Here, he not only dehydrates the ground, but also drains the moisture from everything within the affected area. This includes people, buildings, and anything touching the ground. The dehydration effect is so fast and widespread that it's nearly impossible to escape. Anything in contact with the ground is reduced to dust as moisture is instantly absorbed. Desert La Spada is an evolved form of Desert Spada, and this enhances the original technique's destructive power. Instead of a single loose sand blade, Crocodile creates several solid fan-shaped blades with hardened edges. Although these blades are stronger and more formidable, they can still be shattered by a powerful enough blow, reverting them back to sand. This technique is one of the very few instances where Crocodile's manipulation of sand results in solid objects rather than flowing particles. Now, the ultimate form of Desert Spada is called Desert Grande Espada, and this is an even more powerful version of Crocodile's Sand Blade. Like Desert Spada, this blade doesn't travel underground. Instead, it erupts from the ground with incredible speed and force, sliding through the target before they can react. Even someone as powerful as Akainu couldn't evade it. Crocodile demonstrated this technique on Aokiji's ice field, demonstrating how much of an adaptable ability it is even when it's used in less favorable conditions. Crocodile had used this ability to slice Akainu in half when he was protecting Jinbei and Luffy. Despite Crocodile's status as a Yonko and the influence that he has in the current storyline, we have yet to learn whether if he has unlocked the awakened form of his devil fruit. Given that there's still a lot of story left to tell with Crocodile's character, it's highly likely that he still has some abilities that we haven't seen. It's worth noting that while Crocodile's recent rise to Yonko status seems almost unbelievable, we've barely seen him in action since the time skip. Every ability covered in this video represents those that Crocodile possessed during the events at Marineford, which means there are potentially 2 years of unseen growth and development that could have made the Desert King even more stronger than before. Crocodile is a complex character with a fascinating personality, and I really do look forward to seeing his future role in the One Piece story. Let me know all of your thoughts about the powers and abilities of Crocodile. If there's anything that I've forgotten to mention about his devil fruit abilities or his innate techniques that he possesses, then let me know by continuing the discussion in the comments. And lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this video, and I cannot wait to see you in my next One Piece Explained video. A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.